next line in this song, and it was really funny. And they even got it wrong. But I went on the net and just, found out for myself. But I guess it's a sign of getting old. Yeah. All right.
Over the past 10 years, George has established himself as an internationally renowned DJ, playing to sold-out venues all around the world.
They know me and they're so famous.
The club has a reputation for attracting some original and extravagant personalities to its subterranean lair. And tonight, the regulars, fashionistas, and exhibitionists are all out in force. George has regularly played to these hardcore clubbers since it opened 6 years ago, so it's only fitting that he's here to perform at the closing party.
Right, me and Johnny wanted to do something together for ages, but we don't fancy each other, so we decided to sing. But we both like the sweet, because we're old.
Imagine the sensation of teenage occupation. At 30 now we learn it, at 40 now we burn it. There's something in the air which we all will be aware. But they don't care. No. So, come join the revolution. Get yourself a constitution. Come join the revolution now. And recognize your age. It's a teenage rampage now. Oh!
Thank you!
That was noisy. Get out the fucking way, crap. Oh, that was very noisy.
Was it?
It sounds appalling. I mean, that's why I said get a PA, which they didn't do. Which is why I said get a PA, because it was really appalling. But anyway, whatever that's like. Oh, no, I'm not doing like a diva like everyone told me I was great. I'm not just saying the sound was shit. I'm too old for all this. Showbiz bananarchy.
I love things that brighten up the horizon. If it's like some mad goth girl with blue dreadlocks and great big, Monster Mash shoes. To me, those people, God bless them, I love them. They make me smile, especially when they get it right. It's just a joy to see.
Having always been a lover of fashion, George and friend Mike Nichols created their own designer label, Be Rude, 4 years ago.
I think the clothes that we make do have a message, They're kind of provocative and they're fun, they have humour. A lot of the stuff that we do at Be Rude is kind of influenced by all that youth culture stuff, I mean, I grew up in the 70s when, you just had so many great youth culture movements, which we don't really get anymore, and I think it's a bit of a shame. So, in a way, I'm trying to encourage a bit more of that. I think sort of creating things is what turns me on, I'm not necessarily concerned too much about where they end up or what the profit margin is, I'm learning to be a bit more like that. That's my new mode.
As well as the fashion label, George and business partner Mike run the label store in London's trendy East End.
Clothes are fun, and they can say so much about you, When I was a kid, and I think it's true for Mike as well, and a lot of people that we know, we didn't sort of enjoy the things that other kids enjoyed. I wasn't interested in football. I was drawn to the exotic, anything unusual, and it made me an outsider. And I got picked on a lot when I was at school. I guess at that point, I just thought, I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to worry about what people call me. I'm not going to worry about what people think. And I guess that's when I started wearing the uniform of the outsider.
Entrepreneur George is also a partner in a health food store. Today it's the location for an interview with Q magazine, but it's not long before the conversation turns to his past drug addiction.
The thing is, I went from being so naive and uneducated about chemicals to being like, super junkie.
There's a story that actually just springs to mind of you doing a Royal Command performance in front of the King and Queen of Sweden.
Oh, God, yeah. I'd gone to Sweden clean and I was undoing my luggage and I found drugs and I was so happy.
That would have been a disaster.
If you look at Amy Winehouse, she doesn't think that she's a disaster, She thinks it's all fine. She thinks it's perfectly normal, and it's not, But it is. I mean, that's the thing. That kind of becomes your reality. I remember sort of at the height of doing all the heroin was that, I used to just get changed about 55,000 times a day. I would just be changing outfit. You never get out of the house. You know, like, someone would invite you somewhere, there'd be a function or a party, and you'd think, OK, tomorrow I'm going to A, B or C. And you'd never leave the house, because you'd be like, oh, no, just keep changing, you know, washing, scrubbing, between your teeth. That's what it's like.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the first time you fall in love, you know, you think, oh, my God, you know, it's going to be like this forever, and it isn't, you know. There's nothing cool about working with half your vocabulary, half your brain, you know, half your personality, because that's really what you're doing, you know.
True to form, George is making music about his life experiences, and he's off to the studio to record a track based on his experiences of giving up drugs.
Nice casual day look.
But first, there's a personal matter to attend to, as one of George's best friends has been spreading rumours.
Oh, here, it's called him. Philistine. You said I was on drugs. You said something like, I'm sure George is still on something. Well, I'm not. I wish you'd stop saying things like that, because I'm absolutely not. I'm absolutely not. And it's really disheartening, Philip. You did. It slipped out of your vile tongue. Well, the thing is, Philip, look, that's not true. And the thing is, you know what? I can actually use your support right now, not your negativity. All right, dear. All right, bye. Maybe it slipped out. Just what you need, really, you know what I mean? Let's bury the hatchet. I can't, it's in your back. Cheers, thanks a lot. Get me tip, foggy generous.
Arriving at John's, George wastes no time and gets straight to work.
Celebration, I'm coming home. There's a lot of work to do. Celebration, I got it.
I try to strive to kind of be as guttural as possible and to kind of really express what it is I'm feeling. A lot of my songwriting has got a very positive edge to it. It's different, you know, it's maybe a bit more responsible, a bit more grown up. It's a new thing for me to kind of, you know, write something, sing a happy song, you know.
Not going to get noticed down here, are you?
With the cancellation of his US tour, George has a rare couple of days off, so he heads over to Ireland to catch up with family.
Phyllis, Mum, it's George. I've been calling and there's no response, so either you're having a quiet night or you're hanging out with Bono, whatever. We're going to go out to some gay clubs and be puffs. Leave me a message. Why don't you come to the hotel in the morning and we'll have breakfast? All right, Mother, later.
George heads downtown to gay pub, Panty Bar.
Welcome to Gay Dublin.
Once inside, he meets owner Rory O'Neill, otherwise known as drag queen Panty. And with George a lover of all things drag, the pair immediately hit it off.
So what's the gay scene like here in Ireland?
You know, when I was, say, 18 or whatever, I lashed out of here as quickly as I could, and so did everybody. But now all the 18-year-old gays stay here, because there is something for them to stay for.
And the families aren't, you know, they're more open-minded now or not?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I love a drag queen. I just do. And they're sort of the earth, you know, they're our suffragettes, don't you think?
Yeah.
They're the gay suffragettes.
Coming up in part 4, George's mum shows her protective side.
You're like a cat with his kitten. You know, you want to scratch their eyes out. Don't say anything about my son.
We join George on his 47th birthday with family and friends.
Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up!
And he lets off steam about being filmed 24/7.
I would never do it again, ever. I just hate the whole kind of observation thing, flying the wall. I wrote on my contract I'm not a fly.
Boy George has given us access to his life for 3 months, and it's 9 a.m. in rainy Dublin. George meets up with his mum and auntie for a quick cup of tea.
I think sometimes people think when you're famous, like your family's sort of like a sideshow. You know, maybe they are for some people, you know. But what I do know is that when there's a crisis, we all come together. You know, when the shit hits the fan, we're all there to support each other.
It's like when he went to New York and he phoned up and I said, how are you feeling, son? He said, oh, it was awful, man.
Oh, you mean my community service?
Yeah, well, hundreds of photographers here and I went, bastards.
No, actually, the first thing I said, remember, I rang you, and what did I say? I'm unbothered.
Well, yes, I know, yeah, but you were bothered.
Yeah,
It was upsetting for you, had to be. And I said, look, do yourself a favour. Get your broom, sweep the streets and start singing.